Five, 4, 3. Wait. Marker. Not that we need it. Marker.
Hey!
Wait, everybody at the same time. 1, 2. Perfect.
Hi!
Wow.
Hi, guys. What's up?
Hard to believe we actually made it to 21 episodes, but yeah.
We had the wonderful Dino Monoxelos today on, the otherwise known as the Ampeg guy.
Yes.
Dino's been working for Ampeg forever and ever and ever, and most of the bass players that are studio saltworks in the industry, they know who he is. And Dino's another New England native, so
Yeah,
was
good guy.
Yeah,
One of the coolest last names. I dig it. Yeah.
I wonder if he makes a good baklava. I'll have to ask them.
You have to ask him.
Oh, we should have asked that.
We didn't
We'll have
get
to bring
any
him back.
desserts. God damn.
Some zerts. So yeah, and it's episode 21.
21.
Big Bottom.
So,
21.
as mentioned before, we don't have to wait outside a 7-Eleven for somebody to stop by, and we could slip them a $5 to grab a 6-pack.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
Buy ya at the packy, you know.
Like I was saying out here, pimp some beer. So yeah. And how are you guys doing? Hanging in there?
yeah.
No, hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're
Good.
back. I'm glad we're back. We're again.
We are back.
Season 3. We'll keep building up, doing stuff. So yeah. Dino Monoxelos, correct? Monoxelos.
Can you say that again 3 times?
I just want to make sure I actually practiced it before to make sure I could say the last name correctly. That's how I roll. I do homework before the show.
No.
Oh. Exhibit A. Exhibit A.
Somebody give him a banana split, right?
Yeah. Like, well,
I try to do my homework.
how hoi polloi Steve Arajo is.
There was a popular band out here named Hoi Polloi.
Nice.
Just saying.
Really?
Yes.
There was a killer band called the Banana Splits.
There was a great kids show called the Banana Splits. Remember that?
That's what I'm talking about, that band.
Oh.
And then there's a new version of, they had a new movie come out a couple years ago.
What? It was a great show back in the day. Like
The Banana Splits went mad. They went crazy. They had their own, and they started killing people. So it was like a horror version of the Banana Splits.
it sounds like the Phantom, the opera, the Kiss movie.
Yeah, I mean, so anybody could Google it afterwards. It's
The Banana Splits goat or
horror murderers. Yeah.
Or murder. Nice. I think that was like a Sid and Marty Krofft kind of thing. Just acid, dropping acid.
Way
coming up-
back in the day, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But the new version is like
was probably Eli Roth, a la Hostel. The Hostel version of the Banana Splits. Like John's just like, all right, let's
what is going on? So enjoy Dino, and this is just us bullshitting. Sorry, everyone. So,
But we are so stoked to be back, and yeah, Dino was on. He was great. So yeah, I'm gonna sign off first, Steve Arajo. Or hold on. Wait, let me sign off first. I'm John Moody.
And I'm Steve Arajo. Look at me.
I deserve a banana split. Look at I did my homework. Tony Paleo. I'm just me.
All right, cool.
Oh my God.
All right, wait, we have to do a marker again for the end.
Stop.
Hold on.
1, 2, 3, bang.
Perfectly on time. It's a miracle we're even fucking bass players and can play with people. All right, episode 21, Big Bottom. We are back, motherfuckers. Enjoy the show. Dino, take care, guys. Good seeing you. I'm going to stop recording. Hey, everybody, welcome. Big Bottom, episode 21, season 3? What the hell?
This show can buy beer now.
Woo! The show can buy.
You guys are legal age now.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes. just a little bit, just a little.
We don't have to wait outside the convenience store and have those other podcasts come by and just slip money.
That's true. Well, it was over here. We called it pimping beer. We would sit in front of 7-Eleven and we would call it pimping beer. I don't know what it's back east. Is that the same terminology?
Well, we call it a packy here. So you got to hang out by the packy.
You got to hang out by the packy. And when you were trying to score the beer underage, what was it called? Just score an underage beer.
We would say we need a buyer.
You need a buyer.
We need a buyer.
Hey,
we need a buyer.
Hey, bro, can you get me some beer?
You'd wait by the liquor store for someone kind of cool,
And how about Swisher Sweets? Did you guys do those?
Like, hey, will you buy for me?
Oh, absolutely.
Some beers
I was
and
a
some
black
Swishers.
and mild man.
Which one?
I was a black and mild man.
Those were rad too.
Yeah, or Tipperillos.
Tipperillos. Oh my God. The Backwoods Smokes. Backwoods Smokes were in for a little bit.
Of course.
Way back in the day. All right, hey, Tony, introduce our freaking rad guest.
He's this way from me.
He's here.
Think I'm
That way.
Some people refer to him in our industry as the Ampeg guy. It's and you might not recognize him without all his facial hair. It's Dino Monoxelos from Ampeg. Woo, woo, woo!
I'm gonna fly in some
Not just
applause.
the Ampeg guy, but a killer player in his own right.
Absolutely. Man,
And I'm
thank you.
bummed because he lives maybe like 30 miles from me, and I never see him.
If that.
Yeah.
The only time I see you face to face is at NAMM when we're 3,000 miles away from here. But we're doing chicken sandwiches next week.
Oh, dude, yeah, we are.
We're doing chicken sandwiches next
Go
week.
Augustus.
I'm jealous. I'm fucking jealous.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna fly out there.
I took Tony Ciani there, and he loved it. He loved it.
Hot chicken sandwiches. Actually, not hot, but just regular chicken sandwiches.
Good chicken
Good.
sandwiches.
They're really
Nice. Man, we're stoked to have you, Dino. Really, thank you. And I gotta say, you got one of the fucking coolest last names. Ever said Monoxelos. I'm like, that's just a badass last name. Just
I
saying.
guess you can thank my grandfather. It's funny. When I was younger, when I first started playing, I wanted to change my last name. I wanted to change it to something cool.
Dude.
And I remember my dad saying, he says, you change this last name, you're disowned from the family.
You'll get one of these, son.
Yeah, exactly.
old school Greek,
I love it. That's a fucking rad name. I love it. It's badass. It's awesome, man. But yeah, thank you for joining us. And this is awesome. I'm glad we're kicking off third season with you, man. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. This is, like I said, this is totally cool, man.
How are you handling lockdown, Dino? What's different for you, if there is anything different?
Yeah.
Tell us how you're dealing with the last 7.5 months.
Well, so the first couple of months I dealt with it by basically drinking whiskey every single night. Like a lot of us did. You know what I mean? Just an excuse to sit home and commiserate.
Well, we didn't know severity. We didn't know. Nobody knew. So yeah, I mean, it was self therapy, self medication for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It was and there wasn't anything going on. It was all right. So at the end of my work day, what do I got going on? Well, I'm just going to sit on my front porch and drink myself.
Nice.
But I mean, more seriously though, honestly, I took the time. I basically, my wife and my older daughter, we started this diet program, and because that was the other thing. It's we were constantly eating. We were eating and drinking like fools, and it was all right, this ain't healthy. And that combined with everybody saying, with how this COVID thing, the coronavirus is scary to people with comorbid, comorbid conditions, which I was. I had high blood pressure. I was over 300 pounds. It was just if I caught this thing, I'm like, all right, I'm a perfect candidate for him. We probably still are. But throughout this, I went on this diet program, man, exercising and just taking care of myself. I stopped drinking for a while. And right now I'm down about 81 pounds from when I started.
Awesome, man.
Nice.
I'm heading towards 100. My goal is 100 pounds by next January.
Fantastic, man. Congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, that as far as my personal well-being, that's kind of what I've been doing, is just been as far as everything else, playing wise, picking up the oddball session here and there, playing on people's, doing Christmas albums in the middle of, in the middle of the summer, people ask me to play on their Christmas album, but yeah, I'm actually just enjoying my time at home, not traveling, spending time with the family. Yeah.
I think a lot of people inadvertently learn that is actually, wow, that's satiating to the mind and soul.
Absolutely.
Whereas there were a lot of people that were traveling and doing stuff and out of town a lot, and also that contributes or attribute, to some illnesses too. You run yourself down from traveling so much, and you're home, and obviously at the beginning, everybody's freaking out, and it leveled off a little bit. So yeah, getting on the healthy tip is awesome, and yeah.
Yeah, and that's that was the other thing too. I mean, I was traveling back and forth to LA at least 1 week a month, sometimes 2 weeks a month.
Yeah.
And just eating on the road and eating airport food and eating fast food and and eating at weird schedules and times and so yeah, this you take you take something bad, you make something good out of it.
Absolutely.
What I'm getting at.
Nice.
So yeah.
And you were able to get a little bit more into your home record. I mean, you always did home recording, but kind of up the game a little bit, or did more of it, or what? I'm just wondering, like.
No, it's funny because oh geez, now I can learn what this button does.
Yeah.
Oh, don't touch that. I started to experiment with plugins.
Yeah.
Things like that. It's like, for the most part, I sit home and I record bass tracks for people or bass tracks for Ampeg, and
sure,
I'm never really doing like full sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like, all right, now I can expand a little bit and figure out what all this stuff does, and,
awesome.
and, getting into plugins and learning what they do. And,
yeah.
I actually learned a new, I just recently downloaded Logic. And
I was going to ask you what your DAW was.
So I've been a Pro Tools guy for the longest time, and it got to the point where I kept on upgrading my Mac and upgrading my software, my operating system, and I was just like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. This is crazy. So a buddy of mine suggested, just try Logic, try the free trial.
Sure.
And that's what I'm doing now. I'm kind of getting used to working with Logic, and it's really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's Steve's DAW of choice. So he loves that.
Back in the day I did try Pro Tools. My little tiny brain just couldn't wrap around it. Logic is just the workflow and for me, for my brain, it's more intuitive. So for you, it's probably super easy because coming from Pro Tools, Pro Tools is just very heady, and I never wrap my head around it, and Logic just works, and I don't know. If I don't know how to do something, I can kind of figure it out pretty quick, as opposed to going on a forum, doing all that. So for me, I agree. I love Logic. It's just easy. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's there were some things at first, like when I first started getting into it, I'm like, oh, this is way too much like GarageBand. But then my buddy, who's very ensconced in Logic, like I'd call him up and say, all right, dude, how do I get audio files? It's just, they're not there for me.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you gotta undo the package and
file management. With anything with video or audio, you really file management is easier than, GarageBand is a toy. When you get to Logic or Pro Tools, your file management, you can actually choose where everything goes. So that when you go back to it, oh, there's all my audio, there's all my markers, everything. So anyways, that's cool.
Yeah, no, I'm digging it now. Like I said, I probably won't go, unless somebody requests that I do something specifically for them in Pro Tools, which there never is. Nobody's going to send me their Pro Tools project and say, hey, can you put track? It's just I'm sending WAV files back and forth. So. Yeah,
and I think .pts Logic will read Pro Tools sessions and bring it in. I'm pretty sure there's if somebody does, I'm pretty sure you can do that. But anyways,
I'm gonna be calling you.
No,
how do I do this,
dude? Yeah, ask away if I don't know. It'll just. But I sometimes know enough to be dangerous. But again, with this lockdown, I've been doing a lot more recording, and at GNL, I've been doing a lot of multi-tracking with bands where that wasn't my thing either. Now I'm like, oh, I'm learning like parallel compression on drums and all this stuff, and it's kind of cool. It's fun. Anyways, yeah, that's rad. And all of us have, we always talk about recording and DAWs and all that. So
Oh yeah, yep.
we nerd out.
Well, you can only talk about bass amps and bass gear for so long before.
Well, that's a whole other thing too.
We get into like minutia, like DI boxes and so forth. Like we really got on put on our glasses and look like, no, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's really real bullshit. Like, real first world problem stuff we talk about. It's sad.
It's funny because I'll get emails from guys like, hey, can you tell me what the impedance is, the input impedance on an SVT3 Pro? And it's like, I have no friggin' clue.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm the product guy, but why does that matter? All right, well, yeah, I'm using a
piezo pickup or something.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I get that, but I'll answer that question if you can tell me what notes are in a C major 7 arpeggio. How's that?
Exactly.
That's more important, I think.
This is true. Now, and then speaking of that, in DIs and stuff, are you using, what's your DI of choice for recording? I know that all of us kind of nerd out on that stuff. Yeah. So
I actually I've got these, I started a collection of these guys. I'll unplug it here. But Ampeg did these SVT DIs.
Yes. Obaid Khan helped design that.
This is Obed Khan's design, correct?
Yeah, because those are fantastic.
And Obed now does his Khan DI, which is essentially So I have a lot of guys like, hey man, where can I get one of those SVT DIs? It's like, dude, just go to Khan Audio, and in fact, I think he's improved.
It's fantastic. It's so fucking good, man. But is Ampeg ever going to bring that one back?
There's been discussions about that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. No, it's funny that this is a topic that comes up every time we start talking about DIs, and actually that's the first time we started talking about doing the DI, it ended up turning into this guy.
That's good.
Still a great DI, but it's not the SVT DI.
Yeah.
So at some point, I have the ears of the guys, the designers at Line 6 and Yamaha Guitar Group, and you never know what we might be coming out with in the next couple of years.
Those were great, man. I love those. Those are good, and they're hard to find.
You're pushing my button like I'm sitting on my hands.
It's funny because I've got 2 here in the studio. I have one on my pedal board. And then I actually have one in my office out in California. And so I have a collection of them, but they're hard to find.
Yeah.
And when you do find them, they're like $400 or $500. They're not cheap now.
Yeah.
So, hopefully we'll do something with them soon.
Cool. Nice. That's good to know.
Yeah.
But that scrambler is pretty badass too.
It is. It's a cool toy. Tony and I were talking about this earlier, so
fantastic.
I think we're going to talk chicken sandwiches here.
Now that has a pass through, right?
So it has a pass through. Yes. Nice. So it's one thing about this, and so it's a DI pedal, obviously, or it's a DI and a preamp pedal. But like Tony was asking, does it have the ability to send a clean signal, just a clean, unaffected signal?
Yeah.
To your backline without using the preamp and all that stuff, and that's what the through button does, just like a regular DI.
Sure.
And then you can send all your affected stuff.
I don't know why everybody in the industry doesn't have that.
Yeah.
I
don't know either, to be quite honest. And
most on the pedal format. Sorry, I don't mean to bogart, but most don't.
Yeah. Yeah. But what's funny though, like if you look at like just a regular Countryman, which I've got a Countryman here, that's you've got the input and you've got the through to just go right out the front, right out to your.
I mean, you could get a $200 JDI, or I don't even know what they go for. With the Jensen transformer.
Yeah.
that has a pass through, you know. So like the people who design the DI boxes, they do, but like, oh, let's go put an XLR a pedal, and like they don't.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, Tony, the only thing I could think of is for the guys that have the preamp DI kind of thing, the rationale would be you're buying it specifically for the EQ on that, and the XLR is an afterthought. So why would you want to bypass the actual tone that you bought it for?
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's their mentality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's the argument I could see them using.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and that's, yeah, I mean, that's like Tony and I were saying, the problem is when you do run something like this into your amp and you're running it through the actual line out, now you're stacking preamp on top of preamp.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that kind of defeats the
You
whole
get
purpose.
funny like harmonics and so forth,
Yeah.
and your mid range gets wheelie.
Yeah. But the cool thing, like, you know, if I'm on a fly date or just, you know, or not that I do a lot of fly dates, but you know, if I'm doing something where I just want to bring a preamp,
Yeah. Perfect.
and I know there's going to be an amp on stage, like Tony's saying, I'm kind of stuck now because if I want my Ampeg tone going out the front of house, I still have to dump it into the front of the amp, whatever that may be.
Or you could go into the return, right, and just hit the power amp of the amp.
Yep, you could go into the return or the power amp in. Yep.
Yeah.
You could absolutely do that as well.
Yeah.
So, but
And then my question on the older Ampeg DI, that's what I liked about the Con DI, because I did a couple of things for Obaid, or Obaid, I forget how.
I've always just said Obed.
Obed
Yeah.
Khan, yeah. And he's an awesome guy, man. The guy is a
Oh my
brainiac.
God.
Fantastic. The thing I loved about the Con, and I don't know if the Ampeg does, is that the through is actually affected, which is fantastic because then you go into an amp and you actually have that tube if you want that. You know, it's really cool. So that is the same with that, huh?
Yep. So that basically what you can do is, I mean, what I've used this for is if, like on some of the Portaflex amps, which are solid state, by what button is it here? Yeah, by hitting direct or tube. Now I'm putting the tube in my signal chain and putting it in the front of the amp. So now essentially I've got a tube, somewhat of a tube preamp, and you can send it at the front of house as well.
I need to find one of those.
Do you have a choice on that to do affected or unaffected?
Yep.
Yeah.
For both the XLR and the output. Now another thing that I discovered on this, and I think his DIs do the same thing. If you disengage the tube for the XLR and the input, you don't have to run it powered. You can run it as a truly passive DI.
Yep. Same with that one too, right? The SVT, can you do that? Yeah. It's a passive DI also, which is pretty rad.
The Rupert Neve DI, it's the same thing. Even though it's an active box, active, it's same thing.
You can run it
If
passive.
I'm not using it at all, I'm just using a regular amp, it passes right through, no problem.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, the only problem with it is, I mean, the thing is, you know, the thing's as heavy as a boat anchor.
Yeah.
So when I put it on my pedal board, it's just like...
It's massive, yeah. But that's where you get that heft. You get a little bit of that heft, that transformer in that tube, man. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice. I got to hone it down. I got to go find one.
Yeah, I mean, you can find them on Reverb.
Reverb, yeah.
You see them from time to time. Now, if you can find that, on top of that, especially for home recording, if you can find one of the mic pre's, so it's an SVT MP.
Oh shit!
And it's a mic pre, and it's got actually there's a knob. There's a knob right in the middle of the A that's your attenuator.
Wow.
And I know guys that are using that as well. I think Obed makes one of those too.
I think he does, yeah, and the same kind of footprint. You know, he follows that. And
I would like to A/B that against the Ready Black.
Tony, it's funny you say that because I have recordings that myself and I don't know if you guys know Jimmy Miller. He's an Ampeg guy.
Oh, yeah, I know Jimmy.
So he actually sent me his Ready. He has a Ready. He sent it up to me, and I did a bunch of A/B comparisons between that and the Ready, and I think I did some A/B comparisons with the Countryman too.
Okay.
And they're very similar. They're very similar. The Ready is probably a little bit cleaner than the SVT DI. DI has a little bit more grit to it.
And Obed worked with Montesi also on the Ready back in the day too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah. He did some consulting or working or something like that with him. So
that's a killer DI.
Cannot help but know Jimmy. He's notorious on talk bass. You know?
Yes. He's. Although I haven't heard from him in a while. I gotta check in with him and make sure.
I heard he retired from playing or something like that. Jimmy might actually. I know he's going to see this. I know he's going to see this video. So Jimmy, let us know.
Shout out
if you retired. Like I know you're picking up maybe he's in Florida, and
Florida. Yeah. He might just be laying low too. He
might be laying low. Because to this time, who knows, man?
Well,
we wish him the best. He's a character.
Jimmy was a live gig player, man. And I know, with COVID, that kind of shut a lot of people down. And that was his main source of income was gigging live. So if you're hearing this, Jimmy, I hope you're all right. Let us know. Reach out.
Reach out, please.
Yeah. So, but I do have those waveforms, those wave samples that I'll share with you at some point.
Well, it's funny. I think the Red Ready is based after the B15, and the Ready Black is based after the SVT.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I wonder if that one's a little. I got to talk to Pete.
A little crunchier.
That's a little crunchier.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got my backpack under the desk here. It keeps falling over.
Oh, what's it doing? Is it biting? No.
It's biting my knees.
John, how are you doing out there right now? John's got a new home, so he was.
I do. So I'm, I've been there every night, checking off my little list of things to do and adding more to it. So
punch list.
A
punch list.
Punch list. Yeah, we repainted about half the rooms last weekend. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was the biggie.
When's the move-in date again, John? When are you out of your old
Next Friday.
Nice. That's
so
cool.
I'm still getting stuff in moving things that I don't want the movers to do.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So.
A new home, John, or an old home?
Fairly new. It's like one of those like new development neighborhoods, but it's in the older part of it. So I mean, the house is still like 2 years old.
Cool.
Yeah. The only problem we found is since everything is finished, there's like no nice area just for storage.
Yeah. Good luck with the move.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
I'm sure. I was going to say Tony will come out and help you move.
If I was close by, I look for reasons to be physical. You know what I mean? Like I would be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Unlike my house from like 1940, like creaks every. You walk up the stairs. It really sounds like a haunted house.
I'll tell you, we bought this place brand new like 15, 16 years ago. It was being built when we bought it. And we were thinking, oh man, brand new house, new construction. Yeah. No, you know what? We just put a new roof on it. I'm looking at having to replace the heating system. It's like, yeah, I'm not so sold on brand new homes anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, the house prior to this that we lived in Lowell, Mass, it was an old homestead. It was like over 100 years old.
Wow.
And the thing was built, like they say, they don't build them like that anymore, unfortunately.
It's the it's the pluses and minuses of home ownership. You gotta, it's adulting.
Yeah, it's adulting. I know.
Dino, tell us about plans for Ampeg in 2021 with all the changes, with all of everything happening with like this virtual NAM, which you might as well be no NAM, right?
Yeah.
It's just say no NAM. You know what I mean?
What do they call it? It's music experience or experience music,
something like that. Something music week.
I forget.
Experience music by ghosting. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget the name. I forget exactly what they're calling it, but I've gotten some emails. I'm sure I'm sure we all have from.
Yeah.
Trying
You
to.
know,
Yeah.
It sucks. I mean, it's funny. As we all do, I'm sure we all have a love-hate relationship with NAMM.
Yes.
The only way I can describe it, and this, I think this last NAMM was my 35th Winter NAMM show.
Wow.
Wait a second. 35th.
Wow.
35th. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's this. Like I said, the beard was gray before I shaved it. But it's like I view it like somebody asked me, like, how do you view NAMM? I was like, man, it's the hardest you will ever work all year round, having the most fun you'll ever have all year round. It's just like, it's this true dichotomy that you absolutely bust your balls for, in some cases, 2 weeks leading up to it.
Yeah.
And then, you walk away, you were just completely drained, but you walk away going, man, that was so much fun. I hope I don't have to do that again next year.
Yeah. And then you
last year was my most stressful NAMM for me, man. It was definitely the most.
Yeah. But you know what? It's like, on the flip side, though, I always view it, and I've always viewed like Bass Player Live the same way. It's like, I know this isn't what the show is about, but people like schedule vacations, schedule their lives, schedule their family lives around this. And, spectators come out to the show, granted, even though they're not supposed to. It is supposed to be it's not a consumer show.
Industry.
But you know what? I mean, like, we owe it to them as the manufacturers that when somebody walks in the booth, I don't care how friggin' tired you are or how beat up or how many times you've answered that same frickin' question. Yeah. You got to answer with a smile on your face, because this person walks in, it may be their first time in your booth ever.
Yeah.
And the last thing you want them walking out is like, geez, that guy was a real prick. Mm-hmm. You want them walking out going, man, that was really cool. Yeah, I've never been in I remember my first couple of NAMM shows going in a couple of guitar booths that shall remain nameless, manufacturers. And the guy was an absolute prick to me.
Yeah.
It was like,
Ken Smith.
No.
John's laughing.
I do remember Ken giving me shit, though, for picking up one of his basses.
Without asking.
I had him displayed on a table. Oh, yeah, I just came from Alembic. I'm playing a $20,000 Series 1, so I go over to Ken Smith, and Ken looked at me like with this, put that bass down. What do you think this is? Guitar Center type thing.
Two words for him. Fuck him. That's it.
I knew those were the words. How did I know? Well, like you said, Dino, it's kind of, originally NAMM was, music merchants, industry comes, orders for the year, blah, blah, blah. And there's good and bad with it becoming such a social scene. I mean, I think it's kind of a cool thing.
The good overwhelms. If you're a social person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you feed off that energy, like obviously I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I fucking love it, man. I see you guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. It's like we get to see each other. We don't see each other. Like Tony was saying, he's 30 miles from me. I see him once a year, 3,000 miles away from this.
It wouldn't be the same without going, to Sunday morning and looking for Dino. You know what I mean?
There you go. Yeah, where's Dino?
Now, Dino, I'm going to give you shit right now. I'm going to give you shit publicly for everybody right now.
Go ahead.
Okay?
Go ahead.
Look, we've had some of those bass get-togethers, and you've been invited.
I know.
And you know all these cats that are there.
I know. I'm afraid. Listen, I have this thing about coming into Massachusetts. That's what it comes down to.
What? Wait a second. What's wrong? Come on. You're from here.
If you guys start fixing your roads, I might be more apt to come down there. But as soon as I get, look at the look.
Oh man!
My wife and I, when we're coming down 93 South, which is the main interstate from New Hampshire to Mass, we'll come over the state line, and literally I'll say landing in Massachusetts, and it's like, "Badoosh."
Oh man.
I'm just giving you shit.
And you grew up in Mass.
I did. I'm a masshole. I am a
Yeah.
true asshole. But I am a convert. I am a convert.
My family's on me to be a convert, actually.
Are they up here in New Hampshire?
So we thought about looking at, we roughly looked at some houses in the Hampton and Rye area.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Wow.
near the beach. So
Well, you're a surfer, so that's I can, and I'll tell you right now, as soon as my kids are grown, which they're just about there, but I would consider moving closer to the ocean as well, like within a 10-15 minute drive. I'm an hour out now.
my good surfer friends are like, they're mostly like, most of the people I surf with are from New Hampshire.
Yep.
So they're all like, hey, we got this house here. Hey, we got this house here. Hey, we got the house. I'm like, okay, Rye's a little expensive,
Yeah.
you know,
Property
but
tax.
Hampton's more dealable, you know?
Yeah,
So-
and property taxes are just insane as well, which Massachusetts ain't too far behind either. We're adulting again. We're supposed to be talking about
Oh yeah,
babies.
sorry.
know.
Well, yeah,
That's all right.
We're catching up, like
catching up,
New
man.
England shit, you know? Sorry.
You're gonna have
Sorry,
nothing to
crowd,
talk
but
about
you know, we
when you
get
have your
like
chicken
this. You know what I mean?
sandwiches.
You know, it's super open format, like a Rogan style. You know.
But you're right. Next time we do have a base get together, whether it's up here or down in Massachusetts, I promise we will get together.
You heard it here.
I have a,
Dino, you're
okay,
sticking
so
to
all
it.
right, so
You heard it
here's the
here.
deal. Here's the deal. How far is Stoneham from you?
Stoneham.
45 minutes, right?
Yeah, 45. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right, I have a new studio space in Stoneham,
Oh, there you
Okay. Oh.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I just got it, and it's big enough to host like a little gathering.
Okay.
We'll invite all the people that we know in that area.
Yeah.
Do like a little, you know, what have you.
We'll do a bass hang. Bring some gear. Bring some pedals. Bring some basses. You know, that's. I mean.
Tsunami cables will wire the whole thing. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. That's the thing. Like bass players, we don't get to hang out
No.
all that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's and this is kind of why I miss, like, I miss when I was in school. I went to BIT, but
Oh, nice, yeah.
Obviously we've got Berkeley
Yeah.
down in Boston,
Yeah.
and you know, I miss that hang. I miss the camaraderie, hanging out with other bass players and talking gear and talking playing and just talking bass. You
Yeah.
know, so yeah, we'll hang out. I promise.
Hey Dino, where is your office out here in California? Is it Anaheim or is it near Yamaha?
Yeah, it's so it's up in Calabasas.
Oh, in Calabasas. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically it's the Line 6 offices
Oh, okay.
in Calabasas. That is now, you know, I've since Yamaha bought Line 6, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. They changed the name of the company to Yamaha Guitar Group.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So it's Yamaha Guitar Group, which is Yamaha Guitars, Line 6, and now Ampeg.
Cool.
And it's literally right off of Las Virgenes in Calabasas.
Couple of hours for me, hour and a half without,
Yeah.
you know, couple of hours with traffic, hour and a half without. So
Yeah, or it could be a couple of days depending on rush hour.
wait, fucking 4 hours, 3 hours in the middle of the day. It's bullshit.
Yeah. No,
So-
that's.
Yeah.
I lived in LA for about 7-8 years, and I remember commuting from when we finally moved out of Southern Cal. I was living in Santa Clarita, Canyon Country.
Yeah.
But I was commuting into Hollywood every day because I was teaching at MI, and that commute just sucked.
Yeah.
You know,
Coming over that.
Yeah. But even now, like when I go back to LA, you know, just like I'll land in LA on like a Friday afternoon and trying to get from LAX up to Calabasas
Oh,
at like 2:00 on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, you're screwed.
It's stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb. That's why I live in Orange County. I'm like, fuck LA. Like, just I love it up there.
What
but
time are you flying in?
What time do I get into LAX?
What time? Yeah, you flying around too, right? You know.
Yeah, usually I'll take the morning flight out of Boston, and that puts me into LAX. I land at LAX 11:30 noon. By the time I get my car and my luggage, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, that sort of thing.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, because I've got it down to a T, man. When I was going out there all the time, I would go the earliest flight possible, get in around 10:30, 11. You know, I know where to get my car pretty quickly, which is a short, about a mile,
yeah.
you know, ride on the bus, and then boo boo boo.
Then
Get out there.
Doritos.
Cerritos. Well, I would normally go to Cerritos, but
Well,
I'm
you
trying to
missed
think
the
it-
part, Steve. What happened? He was get the car, return to LAX because by that time I had
Flying.
left and was
Yeah,
waiting.
sometimes I get the car and I swing back and I pick up John,
John, yeah.
and then it's like, John, okay, you ready? All right, are you hungry? Okay, come on, let's go. Right, and then we go to Cerritos, which Steve doesn't like so much, and then, you know, for burritos.
I was going to say
Tacos.
Cerritos, the town, or
Yeah.
there's a
Cerritos,
restaurant
the
called
town.
Cerritos.
No,
No,
Cerritos
the
town.
Cerritos, the town, Amore Tacos.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
Dino will understand this. There's so many killer Mexican, Hispanic, Spanish restaurants around, like anywhere. There's anywhere, and I just give Tony shit because he insists on going to Cerritos for these badass, and they're actually really good. It's a good place, but you know, like even by me, there's
Papa
just
still gets upset that Tony and I just go down the street in Anaheim just to Angelo's and get the really greasy.
Oh my God, we do.
Yeah.
We do. And I don't know why no one goes down there. Then I see that.
Why?
I'm like, I'll take, because I always have a card. Not everyone has a card, Nam. I'm always
hold
like,
on, let me get my hold on. Keep going, keep going.
I'm usually a band leader out there. I'm usually playing out there at NAM. I always have a gig, and there's always something going on. I got guys with me. I have like a little posse, you know. And this one year, I actually got a minivan. I said, give me the grossest vehicle you have. Do you have an older minivan with paneling? Sorry, sir, we don't have any paneling.
Paneling.
I want the grossest car that I'm gonna put all these big guys in. Give me the ugliest big thing you have, right? I'll pay extra.
Sorry, guys, my dog was losing his mind. Had to go.
Oh, that's okay. But and then
Sorry.
we go down to what is it? The name of it, John? What's it called?
Angelo?
That gross taco place that we love.
What,
Like
Angelo's?
Angelo's, like the $4 burritos.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's usually like the morning after we go to Planet Fitness.
Post-workout
Wow.
meal. Yeah.
Well, you got to have some
And then we
protein,
go there.
Steve.
And I don't know
besides,
why
That's
more
true.
musicians
You get
wouldn't
a
go
really
there
good
because
food
no one's
in.
got a car, but we have a car. So we go out there and it's like, oh, I'm like, this is great. And it's just us and usually like some tweaker guy, maybe hanging around out front. And, you know, I still see the same Spanish men in there every year, like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, music show in town. Like, yeah, music shows in town.
That guy's a mountain.
Wow.
Oh, the big dude? Yeah, he's jacked. Yeah.
That's so funny, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good routine. I've got it down pat.
Well, hopefully 2022, Nam will be back and we'll be able to go on adventures and, you know, hopefully Nam will be back. I mean, I hope, you know, hope the show will be back.
I've talked to a lot of people, like a lot of manufacturers and a lot of people, and I said, I just kind of pulled you guys into this. I said, when everything is like relatively open, you know, when things can be relatively, I don't want to say the same, you know, because everyone says that,
Yeah.
but when we can basically perform the same things that we did before, you know, we can travel without restrictions and so forth. We're doing something,
Yeah.
you know. John and I are flying out. That's it. So
Yeah, it's, you know, and that, I mean, we're obviously, you know, we're creatures of travel. I mean, that, you know, we're musicians, we're gypsies, you know, and a lot of it's funny. My mom, she jokes with me when I talk to her. She'll call me when I'm on the road. She's like, "Where are you now?" You know, obviously pre-COVID, and she was like, you know, and she'd always say, she goes, "You've got that Greek gypsy blood in you because." As much as you love being home with your family, you love being out on the road and traveling and just seeing things. And I got to tell you, man, it's like I won't say it's affecting me, but being home as long as I have, it's like it does. It starts to wear thin on you a little bit. So hopefully eventually this is all going to break open, whether they come out with a virus or herd immunity or whatever you want to call it. At some point, man, yeah, it's I think there's going to be a big, huge party.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why I say about summer 2021. I just hope it's true.
It's got so let's ask this. If you think back 1920s, when did the Roaring 20s actually start? Did it start in 1920 or 21 or 22? You know, that's a good.
I want to look it up.
History buff.
Yeah.
Because are we on par for like this huge Roaring 20s again in 21 and 22? I hope so.
Post Spanish flu, right? Like post that thing. Well, I mean, technology is hopefully higher than it was then. So hopefully all this stuff, vaccines and hopefully, we're all a little bit just stronger individually where we can fight stuff off.
Yeah.
More so,
I swear, I won't say I had it back in January.
Well,
but for the first time in, like I said, the 35 years of Winter NAMM, this was the first year I started getting sick on Friday. Started getting the dry cough. Started like not feeling well. Woke up Saturday, and I just attributed it to NAMM crud. From breathing the NAMM air. I was like, I'll eat some Halls and take some echinacea and blow it out. By Saturday afternoon at 4:00, my boss looked at me as like, dude, you need to go home. You're not looking good. I get to my hotel. I was supposed to have dinner Saturday night with some friends. I had to cancel dinner. By 7:00, I had a fever of about 102, like shivering in my hotel bedroom. Went to CVS next door to the Minute Clinic. She gave me something for flu. I forget what it was.
Tamiflu?
Tamiflu.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what they used a lot with people when they were getting, and actually that's what they use now too. I'm pretty sure for people that have that. Yeah.
And I was feeling like I still had a fever, but I was feeling well enough that I could function. So basically, it took me out Saturday night. I didn't go to the show at all on Sunday. I didn't go in at all on Monday to break down. And basically, by the time I was feeling well enough, I was able to go to the airport and fly home. And I still didn't feel right even after that.
Ever go to your chest?
Oh, yeah. It was awful. Yeah, I had this like dry cough that, like they said, an unproductive cough.
Yeah.
And it came on real quick and then followed by a fever. So I swear that was floating around NAMM at that point.
Oh, that shit. Well,
like a bunch of people downstairs got sick, like Devin and the Devon-based crew. They got it bad. It
took a lot of people out this past January. It really did.
I think I heard something like 7 people got carried out on stretchers from downstairs.
Yeah, I think there was EMTs had to come down or something like that. It was trippy. Yeah.
I've been saying this forever. Leave Devon bases, Aniki cases. Let's just have like a cafe and disc golf, right? It just like that should be an escape from everything upstairs.
Yeah.
Right. Leave those two exhibitors, and that's it.
Yeah. All the people showing off the wood down there and the picks, like
yeah.
Well,
my imitation. Look, I'm copying this company. I'm copying this company.
Somebody handed out my business. They got a stack of my business cards. One of my coworkers. This was back in Loud days when Loud owned Ampeg. Yeah. And as a joke, like a new I called him a new Namby. So he was new to NAMM. And he thought it was a joke by taking a stack of my business cards and handing them out to all the Chinese manufacturers down in Hall E. And I was like, you did what? And he was like, I gave him. Like, dude, you have no idea what you just did to me.
He's getting pinged, emails, calls.
It was like I almost had to ask IT to change my email address because I was getting hammered by every like transistor manufacturer and tube manufacturer, and it was like, oh my god.
is the Ampeg office up in where Line 6 is now, or is it down
Yes.
here? Is that okay? So all that stuff's there. Got it.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
It's all in Calabasas.
Cool.
And that's where they do all the development, all the engineering and development. I got to tell you, man, so we have basically, I call him my I'm his right-hand man. He's kind of my right-hand man. This, Dom Liberati, who's the...
Yeah.
Do you know Dom?
I know the... Yeah,
So-
I know I've met him before or something. Yeah, the name sounds so familiar. He's been with Ampeg for a while, right?
He's been with Line 6 for a while.
Okay, then
And
that's...
and then when Ampeg came over to Yamaha,
Mhm.
he got the gig as the product manager for
Nice.
Ampeg. But he's a bass player and he's played
Sure.
Ampeg for years.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it's like between him and I, so our official titles is he's the Ampeg product owner or product manager, and I'm the brand marketing manager. And like the discussion between the two of us now, it's like it's just good to have somebody that's so tuned into the Ampeg brand and has been for years that, but we also have this vision, like, I was mentioning this the other day, Dom and I will sit down and we'll start mapping out like the next 5 to 10 years of what we would like to see for product.
Yeah.
And then he goes to work figuring out how he can make it happen as a physical product.
Mhm.
And I go to work on my end saying, all right, well, when this happens, who's going to buy it? Who are we going to sell this to?
Yeah.
And it's an amazing thing, because for a while there, towards the end of the Loud years, obviously Loud was doing their thing with Ampeg and it was all cool, but towards the last couple of years there, it was like, it was kind of lonely. They were focusing more on Mackie and Ampeg was just kind of like this entity that they were just trying to maintain so that they could eventually sell it to somebody that was going to take care of it. Because, Loud, again, they were a pro audio company. They did what they could with Ampeg and they did some really cool things, but I don't know if they were necessarily equipped to feed both Mackie and Ampeg. So that's kind of the reason why they ended up selling it to Yamaha. And since Yamaha has had it, man, it's just been, it's for me, it's been kind of like a dream come true because I still get to work for Ampeg, but now I'm working for this much bigger company that's Yamaha.
Yeah.
It's like, man, this is, they're just a cool company to deal with,
Well, it's one of the big powerhouses for sure. When you're talking about companies, that's one of the big ones. International, they're huge.
Yeah.
In all
Yeah,
MI, they cover a lot of MI.
The scope of it is just,
massive.
when I sit back and go like my mom would even like, when this all went down, like my mom would be telling her friends, yeah, my son works for Yamaha now. And, they think Yamaha motorcycles.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, he's always been in the motorcycles. No, he's working for the music division, that sort of thing. Yeah,
He's
exactly.
making toasters. He's doing
making
toasters.
He's making stereo gear.
He's making ninjas, Yamaha ninjas. Yeah.
You know what's funny though? Like they were explaining to me when I first came on board, just the reach that Yamaha has, not just in music and in motorcycles or motorsports. They were telling me like, if you buy a Toyota or a Lexus and it has wood trim on the dash or the steering wheel, that wood comes from Yamaha.
Oh.
So like whatever they don't use in their manufacturing of their instruments, they sell off to the automotive industry, and that's what they used. So they're always repurposing stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of interesting, so.
Do you know Charlie Sabatino? You must know Charlie, right?
No.
So Charlie's a friend of ours. He works with I believe he's doing stuff with Yamaha and the electric uprights and
He's
everything.
one of their demo, but he works with them. He does the
Yes.
He's silent bass.
He's from New York.
Super cool guy, super great player.
Yeah.
One hell of an educator.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
met him at this past NAMM show actually, because he was over on the Yamaha side, demoing the silent
Yep.
bass.
yeah, Charlie's great, man. He's wonderful. Yeah.
Yep, I remember talking to him about the silent bass, and he's an electric player too.
Yes.
He's an electric player.
Yep.
Yep.
Great.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
What's the big what's kind of the big flagship? I mean, is the SVT still kind of the biggest seller?
Yeah, I mean that's for a lot of good reasons and for some bad reasons. That's kind of what we're known for. You know, it's the SVT has been, it's the big concert touring amp. But it's, one thing, it's 50-year-old technology. But so is it the P bass.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically what we're known for. And in fact, like I said, when Yamaha took us over, that was the first thing we did was we came out with another SVT, the Heritage 50th. And I think that was Yamaha's way of saying, this stuff isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, don't think we're going to make everything digital. But on the flip side, somebody actually, I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day, and he was saying, when is Ampeg going to make something that maybe doesn't sound traditionally like an Ampeg? Like that sort of thing. It's like, we need to start appealing to other players that don't necessarily want to be 15 or want an SVT or want to carry an 85-pound amplifier.
But this is new to me. Okay, it's like something like a branching off the original Ampeg tone, something different.
I mean, obviously, obviously we know all the other bass amp manufacturers out there and how, let's face it, how crowded the industry is right now, so we've always enjoyed our little niche, the SVT and the big concert amps, and and that's kind of where we've lived for the longest time. But I equate it very much like Harley Davidson in the way that they're not making new bikers these days. And the younger bikers that are coming up don't necessarily want a big old V-twin, bagger touring bike. They want something new and modern and sleek. And that's kind of, I think, where Harley came out with the Livewire, and the smaller street bikes to appeal to that younger crowd. So I think we got to do that. At some point, we have to embrace that, hey, we're in the 21st century here. And, there are players out there that want portability and they want small, lightweight stuff. And, whether it sounds like an Ampeg or not, that's still stuff we need to work out. But
I think for a while, didn't Ampeg make like a, I don't know, 3-rack space kind of, was it a Class D amp with a, I forget the name of it, but I thought
like a graphic EQ too. Yeah.
So we always did. So we have the Pro Series, which is the hybrid stuff.
I think that's one of, I think that's what I've seen.
And, like the 4 Pro is a 3-rack space, it's 42 pounds.
Okay.
But yeah, more recently we did the smaller solid state stuff, the Portaflex.
Yes.
The 350 and the 500. And what's ironic, man, it's like, I remember when we launched that, it was probably about 10 years ago that we launched it. And, so the PF 500 is like 15 pounds.
Okay.
And it's 500 watts.
Cool.
And, here we are, we come to NAMM with this thing going, man, we got a 500 watt solid state amp that's 15 pounds. Hooray for us. We're like, and then we have all these retailers coming in going, well, that's still too heavy. Like, why couldn't you make it lighter? I'm like, seriously? They said, well, my Aguilar tone hammer is 3.5 pounds, or, my Mark bass is 4 pounds. And I used to joke, I get into this conversation with bass players all the time. It's like, wait a second, you're gonna complain about carrying a 15-pound amplifier from your car to the stage and then back again, but you'll hang a 10-pound P bass off your neck for 4 cents a night and not complain about that? Come on,
but I think a lot of that might be the weekend warrior guy that's just at home that just wants. I kind of equate it to Empress Wood.
Okay.
Empress Wood for basses and stuff, where they're not even players, but somebody wants, like, I want the lightest. It's like, do you really? Like, you're just sitting at home and that's why you want it, because it's the lightest thing. And I don't know.
There
I
are
think
some guys that just look at the numbers.
they just look at the numbers. So yeah,
Bragging rights.
bragging rights. Yeah, like it's so light, but if you're really, really playing gig and doing like if you're grinding out there, you kind of learn because honestly, if it's too light, it's just gonna shift off your freaking amp, off your cabinet, and it's gonna fall. Or there's other things. I don't know. You know, but then again, you have to look at the market. Like who's gonna buy it? You know, like it's a big market out there, and a lot of people that buy are the people that are at
Well,
home.
here's the other thing.
Weekend
Does a
warriors.
15-pound amp sound better than the 7-pound amp? You know,
Well, now you get into the discussion. You know, it's like,
it's got
all
a
right,
bigger transformer. It's a little fuller sounding. Who know? I mean, I don't know.
does Class D sound better than MOSFET? Does MOSFET sound better than a tube amp?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's, that was Halloween sounds there. That was awesome. Like,
No, Steve, you
Yeah.
wouldn't get that sound. You would not understand what that sound was.
you know what that sound was?
that was a
Of course, I absolutely know what it is.
What is it?
Free chicken sandwich to whoever guess what that sound is.
I already let John. John will tell you what it is. I know exactly what it is.
R2D2?
Getting
R2D.
shot by the Jawa.
That's exactly what it was. That's
Yep.
my alarm.
would have never guessed.
Okay, so Dino, Steve's not a geek in that way at all, but John and I,
Yeah.
100% are.
I am pleasantly surprised that you know what that sound is. That's awesome. That is my
That's
alarm.
awesome.
Like I said, on this diet thing that we've been doing, it's like
I watched The Mandalorian with my daughters. You know,
Did you see the last episode, the new
I
episode?
did not actually.
All right, I won't give it away.
I heard it's awesome.
It is, but I'm not going to give it away.
The only reason I like it is Gina Carano. I'm a huge fan. That's it.
There you go.
Other than that, eh.
Yeah.
Dina, before
Okay.
we go,
Yeah.
getting your socials, we have a few questions that we have to ask you.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You want me to start? Okay, so we have the kind of wrap up the 3 questions that we asked. So Dino, Living Dead, who would you love to study with? And you've probably studied with some monsters, but living or dead throughout centuries, whatever, who would you like to study with?
Wow. Okay. So I guess first, who would I like to study with?
Or have studied with, or yeah. Just
Yeah,
pick the brain.
I've had a lot of great teachers, man. But the first guy to come to mind, and Tony will know who this is. But
I was thinking this. The initials are CB.
CB,
Yeah,
Charlie Binoculars, yeah.
and it's funny. I was on his list,
Oh.
and he called me after about 6 months. And he was, with Charlie, it's like, here's the deal, man. I can get you in on Sundays at like 6 a.m. And the day he called me, I had just come back from the orthodontist. My oldest daughter needed braces.
Mm.
And I looked at the bill. I was like, oh, Charlie, I can't do it right now, man, because I got to pay off. And he was like, dude, I totally understand. No problem. I got kids. Yeah, no worries. And I never followed up with him. And a couple of years later, he had passed away.
Yeah.
So,
Man, that's a good one. That's legendary, such a legend,
Yeah.
And we talked to somebody that his protege is still doing stuff. I forget what his name is, right? Tony, wasn't that?
What her name is actually.
Her name. Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
You know what? She's probably awesome.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
getting
not-
more now. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good answer. R.I.P. Charlie Binoculars, one of the best for sure. You want me to ask the next one, guys? I have it right there.
Let John answer.
John.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember it. So go ahead, Steve.
I have it. So
Bad
again,
John.
living or dead, who would you have loved to have jammed with that you haven't, played with, jammed with? It could be any instrument. It could be a bass player. Like Dream Jam.
Dream Jam. Jeff Porcaro.
Nice.
Ooh.
Like it.
Yeah. Jeff Porcaro. He'd be my first one.
Yeah.
Obviously drummers. You
Okay.
know.
Oh,
listen
okay,
to
good.
Guitar, but yeah, like Jeff Porcaro, or even going back and John Bonham.
Oh, That
And
gave
then
me
I'm going to do the
chills.
last one.
That gave me chills. I love it. All right, and then the last one, living
Yeah,
or
I'm
dead.
going to do it, Steve. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, Steve.
You do it. You do it, Tony. Do it.
Even though I think John should be doing it. John, I'm going to tell John the question first. John, you have to
I will
ask
listen.
him.
I actually know this one now.
Here.
After you said the other
John,
one.
you have to ask him who he wants to have a meal with, John.
Yeah, it's not like I've been actually doing other stuff like moving between houses.
The poor guy.
It's not like we all have lives and John's moving.
It's all right. We got to give him a little crap, you know.
But it's right there, John. John, it's right
They
there.
can only give me crap right now, Dino, because I'm not next to him. Otherwise, they'd be a little afraid.
Right? Yeah.
So, yeah, you can put it down, Steve. I'm not.
No, I want to make sure you got it.
So, living or dead, who would you like to share a meal with?
Who would I
And
like?
why is it not Steve Arajo?
No, not me. Sorry.
Tony Paleo.
Me?
Because I know we're gonna have a
I
meal.
mean, I've
next
done
week.
that before. 2 out of 5
Okay,
stars.
so let's say I get transported to Mars and you can't have it with me. Who would it be?
And it can be any genre, anything. Just somebody to share a meal with.
My dad. Wow. Yeah.
Nice.
I lost my dad a few years ago, and if I had a chance to have another meal with him, that's who I would share a meal with. Not to get too mushy on you, but
No, that's.
I'd share a meal.
I
with
get that 100%, man.
Yeah.
100%.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. Very cool.
Now I got myself all worked up.
I know, man.
No,
Yeah.
that's good. You're real.
That's good.
I am real.
I love
I
it.
am real.
That's rad, man.
Dino, where can everyone find you as a player? We all know we can get you at Ampeg, but what about you as a player? Where can everyone find your socials?
Right now, nowhere. No, actually, I do have a website that
Cool.
I'm probably gonna update at some point, but it's Monotunes Music, all one word, MONOTUNES music.com.
I'll put all the links.
Yep.
in the video. Any Instagram, Twitter? Do you do any of that stuff?
Yeah, so I actually have to look it up here.
If you have Instagram, I'll totally find it and I'll put a link. So yeah,
Just just Instagram Dino Monoxelos. Same thing
Cool.
with Facebook. I hope I'm the only one there. If not, somebody stole my account.
well, it's such a popular last name. People are gonna have it. I think you're gonna be the only Dino Monoxelos there. Like, oh yeah, but yeah, I'll put all the links and stuff.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. Instagram and Facebook, by all means, you can reach out to me there too.
Nice, man.
Dino, this is long overdue. It's so good to have you on here, man.
Guys, thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. Seriously, thank you for inviting me. I am truly honored that you guys reached out to me on this. When I saw Tony's text, I was like, hell yeah, I'll do that.
That's rad. And what I'll do, it'll probably be out week and a half or so, and I'll definitely ping everybody and I'll tag in all that kind of good stuff. So yeah.
We'll do like a little picture icon thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
get a picture for you.
Yeah. I put a little thumbnail in there. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Thumbnail.
all right.
Doing it to John.
Yeah. At this time, we say goodbye to the audience and the people listening and stuff, but we still talk shit. We stay. So we still talk some stuff back here, little backstage green room action. So Public Dino, thank you so much. You're the best. Episode 20 season 3.
Congratulations on that too. Yeah, congratulations. That's huge.
Awesome,
You
man.
guys are
Thanks.
drinking age now.
Yes. All right. Hold on, everybody. We'll see everybody. Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening.